Hello, everybody. Hello, Facebook. I'm going to try it sideways today and see if it works. Oh, I have my backdrop put up, which is so exciting, with 3M tape. But I just heard a noise, so I didn't want thinking it's going to fall. You guys, it could collapse. It could be a hot mess. So I have my iPad up. We are welcoming Maiya today, and she is a consultant. She's going to share her business with you. There she is. So I'm going to add her, and we're going to get started. I have some questions. She's going to share her story. It was going to be later this afternoon, you guys, and we got a special surprise. My Mr. Handsome brought home Peter Frampton tickets. So we are headed to the Toyota Music Festival this afternoon. So I had to move it up a little bit, and I always love to keep my scheduled things because I value Maiya's time. But it was unexpected, so I'm so excited and so fun. So we are going to add her now and get started. I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Maiya, I've turned it sideways, and oh, there we go, add people. A lot of thinking on my part for tech, I'm telling you. There you are. Hello.
Hi, how
Hello,
are you?
beautiful lady. I'm good. How are you?
You're the pretty princess. I'm just,
You know,
I'm just blessed to be
I
among
wanted to put my
beautiful,
hair up.
ambitious women.
I wanted to put my hair up, but I'm growing in the gray. So, you know, anyway. But I'm glad to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you for moving your schedule around. I did I interviewed the other day with Nia, and
Hmm.
it was, she was up in the corner. So this time I turned it sideways so you could be seen a little better. Is it better?
Okay. We're
Are
like
we
the
side
Brady
to side?
Bunch. We're side by side.
Yeah. On yours too?
Yeah, I have mine horizontal, so
Okay.
you're right here, I'm right here
Okay,
as
good,
I'm looking.
good, good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, let's go ahead and get started because I have never heard your story from the beginning. So I
Okay.
know. So you can share, and then I'll ask you some questions.
Okay, awesome. So, basic introduction. I'm Maiya of MaiyaWinston.com, which apparently people really enjoy the fact that I spell out my name in my websites on all my videos. So, just to keep it flowing, MaiyaWinston.com. And what I do is help people with personal and professional development, accountability coaching, goal setting, career development, um, teaching people how to tell their story, how to control their narrative, be it personally or be it in the context of business, of helping themselves elevate in their careers or moving around. And yeah, just generally being a helper. That really is one of the things that I do naturally, is just I'm a helper.
Mm-hmm.
So being that and having been that as long as I can remember, um, found a way to incorporate that not only professionally but just on the side also. Um, and I'm sure that there are people who appreciate it outside of my personal circle who may get a little sick of it. Like, okay, we
No.
don't need your help. We didn't ask you. So, um, yeah, so that's really what my focus is as far as my business goes, is helping people learn how to tell their own story, set their own course, take control of their lives through action. And that is to complete things that they have always said they wanted to do, or even if it's a brand new idea, helping them to develop an actionable plan that doesn't scare them and then turn them into, a statue of hopes and dreams that doesn't go anywhere. Because it's great to have ideas, it's even greater to see yourself grow and move within those ideas.
And I was going to say, how did you get started? But you said you've been doing that for a long time. So what was that catalyst that changed from just not having a business to doing that?
seeing the need and then hearing people's reception after working with me,
Mhm.
even on their personal things, and being like, oh, okay, I should maybe offer this a bit more widely instead of it just being people I know or I happen upon.
Mhm.
So being able to have that, and it's a business class that we met in, it's like, what do people come to you for?
Right.
And it was that, to help, I'm not sure how to do this. Can you help me develop a plan? Or can you walk me through this? Or how do you point, or how do I start? One of the things, and one of my favorite professional resources is LinkedIn. And one of the descriptors that I put on my LinkedIn page is dot connector, because I love meeting new people and then hearing about what they do and then being able to reference that. And then if I meet somebody else who's like, oh, I'm looking for X,
Mhm.
it's like, wait, oh, let me put you guys together. Or finding a way to bring people that I meet into environments that I'm already in to help expand their networks and to get their gifts out as well.
Oh, good. And I thank you for meeting with me today, because I love that you do that. I don't think we're connected on LinkedIn, so we need to
We have to change that.
connect. We do. We have to change that. Well, let's
We
get
do.
started on the questions, because, like I said, Mr. Handsome got tickets to the Peter Frampton concert at
I
the
know. I
Atlanta
was like, oh,
Music
you're just gonna go
Festival.
be a rock star tonight.
I'm so
I see how you did.
excited. Yes, I love
That's
him.
good.
So
I'm excited for you.
I know. Okay, so looking back, this preface the other question we just talked about, so we may have already answered it. But looking back, are there any indications from your childhood that foreshadowed you becoming an entrepreneur? You
Yeah.
probably had the lemonade stand or something, right? Like when you were a kid.
Yeah, and just, well, no, not so much that. Just always finding myself being elected leader,
Mm-hmm.
or just growing up and learning how to come to peace with it, as opposed to being like, why are you pushing me forward? Why am I always the spokesperson? And being like, okay, obviously there's something that is being seen by other people that they say, okay, no, we want you to be in front, or we want you to lead us or to help us to come together. And that's, I'm sorry, early as elementary school. So finding a way to balance that, and then learning how to not abuse that and not be, oh, well, obviously I know everything. And finding the balance between being seen as a leader, but then also helping other people also recognize the leadership within themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's something else that I love to work with. And I love to see that light bulb or that confidence like bubble up in somebody, and just see them grow from first like, I'm not sure, to, oh, I got this. And then now they're bringing along somebody else,
Well, that's
which,
great that your teachers recognize that skill set in you as well and push you in
mhm.
that direction.
Right. Yeah. I appreciate it now. And again,
Right.
it's a process of making peace with it. Um, and then also just even beginning in my professional, I've been in insurance for 15 years, but when I started, like I'm a reader, and I live in my head. So I like to know things just to know them.
Mm-hmm.
But then if I heard somebody had a question, I would answer it. And then it became this thing of people asking questions all the time. And I recalled back to a time in my life where I was really thinking about what I wanted to be. And I remember praying to be a resource,
Ah,
and just being that was just a very general, it's like, I want to be a resource for people.
mm-hmm.
Um, and then one day catching myself having to remind myself of that prayer when I was getting annoyed with people asking me questions. Why are they always coming to me? It was like, wait,
Right.
because you asked for this, because you prayed for this. This is what you prayed for. You didn't say what you wanted that to look like, but you did say you wanted to be a resource. So this is what that looks like. So again, taking that prayer and then clarifying it,
Mm-hmm.
and then now defining it into, okay, what do I want that resourcefulness, what form do I want it to come in?
Isn't that the way? Like, you have to be careful what you pray for. Because
Right. Yes. Yes.
you pray for
Very much
patience,
so.
and he's going to put you in situations where you pray for patience, you pay for a resource, and yes. Well, that's awesome that you did it that way. Sometimes we don't pray and reach out. So it's good that you did that, and he showed you what you need to do. Speaking of questions, if they're watching this on the replay or anybody that's watching it now and has a question for Maiya, leave it in comments, and either I will check back later or she will as well, so you can get your questions answered if you want to work with
Definitely.
like that. Okay, so I feel this, and I do have different ways to, like with you being in groups and different ways to reach out to people, but do you feel isolation as an entrepreneur? Either yes or no, and do you have thoughts on how to resolve it?
So I don't feel isolation, thankfully, but that is because I purposely seek out other people who are on the same path, just to make sure, that some of the challenges that I find myself facing are not unique to me. But also to get insight. There are people who have walked this path a lot longer than you or I may have, that have gone through the things that we may be coming up upon. So opening yourself up to listening to other people's stories, to other resources, and then surrounding yourself. Like I said, I'm a learner. So I like to hear stories. I like to read things. Rabbit hole down Google and YouTube. I can get lost, but it's getting that information. And some of our classmates from the program that we were in, I showed them. I have several of them, and they're like in front of me right now, which is why I'm looking down. I write down a lot of stuff. So I have notebooks just full of notes and full of just watching different webinars or observations, or I hear a quote or something like that. I like to write things down. So I have all these notebooks just full of resources. So it's to help not feel like I'm the only one, so I don't know how, or I don't know where to turn. And the internet has made the world that big. So an entrepreneur should never feel like they're by themselves. Don't be afraid to reach out. Be smart about the information that you're sharing. Find people who support you and who can relate to you, and who you can trust. And that doesn't mean it needs to be a big, wide audience. Find one or two people that you can trust. Build your team, or at the very least, find an environment where you can speak your ideas out and get real feedback, instead of somebody going, "Oh, that's great, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it," and then you're so overwhelmed, as opposed to somebody saying, "That probably wouldn't work for you," or "That doesn't sound like you," or "Why are you doing that?" Introspection is also a very good thing. And to never feel like you're beyond being coached. Everybody needs somebody to bounce something off of. Coach, mentor, peer mentor or something.
Right.
So just really not allowing yourself to fall into, I'm alone, I can't talk to anybody, there's nobody for me, because that's not the truth.
Right. Reaching out is and that's one of the reasons why I started the Women in Business series, because I wanted other women to know there's a lot of us out there that we can connect with and learn from, and we're not alone in what we do. So that was one of the reasons why I started that as well. Perfect. And as being a wellness coach, this is one of the things that I try to teach my clients to do too. Do you, and I think you do have one, do you follow a certain morning or evening routine or a daily schedule to maximize your productivity and your well-being?
So one thing that I have started to incorporate into my mornings, and it goes back into learning how to balance and work things out, was just taking a moment before getting up, and being completely still, without grabbing the phone, without, let me just lay there. Yes, sometimes it may not be as long as I may like because I'm on a schedule, but it's at least taking 2 minutes. Once you're up, okay, I'm aware, where am I? What day is it? And just be still. Get your bearings mentally, then let your feet hit the floor. If that if for you, that sounds like prayer while you are that's meditation, that's, top 5 things I need to do today, whatever that is, but really just steadying yourself and being still before getting moving. And then your mind starts turning, and then, you're all over the place. So that is one thing that I have implemented into my day. And then after that, it just all goes left. But
But to get
no,
that clarity for the day, just to, instead of,
yes.
like you said, getting up and just going, getting that clarity in your mind to, okay, what was I going to do today, or how is that going to incorporate in my day?
Yes.
Good.
And for people who have the freedom to do so, and if it doesn't sound too off to you, if you find yourself being overwhelmed during your day, stop and do it. Sometimes, and I actually have a video about this on my business page, that we're talking about surrender and being quiet. And I found myself at one point in my life just kind of just all over the place, almost feeling manic. And the one thing that I did, that I do occasionally, is I just got down in the middle of my floor in my bedroom and just laid there, just quiet. It's like, this feels crazy, but I think this is what I need to do to just completely just stop. And sometimes it takes that much to physically stop yourself and physically calm your mind so that you don't end up going off the deep end. So another way to do that also would be to stop and make a list.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that is very, very helpful, because I also still work a 9 to 5, so I'm not full-time entrepreneur. It's setting boundaries for what's work time and what's Maiya time, and Maiya time being business, and then also what's Maiya time outside of anybody's business.
Right.
What's my personal, and making sure to set those boundaries. But during the time that I'm working on either the business here, Be a Possibility, MaiyaWinston.com, or if I'm working on my 9 to 5 stuff, if I feel like there's too much happening, it's like time out, get a Post-it, get a notepad. What do you need to take care of? What are your priorities? Or just what's top of mind? What needs to get done? Writing that stuff down, and then stopping, prioritizing that list, and then going, okay, this is all we're going to focus on right now. You can't put out every fire.
Right.
This is what you're going to do right now. Rank it if you need to, and then go from there.
Perfect. On that link, later after we're done, if it'll let you in comments, I may have privacy settings on, so it may not work, but if it will, you can post that link in comments for people to follow it over there. And if not, if you're watching this on the replay and you want that information, then reach out to me or Maiya and we'll get you that info. Okay, so what is your biggest challenge for you as an entrepreneur?
Right now, my largest challenge is balancing putting messaging out there just to help and putting it out there to solicit business.
That is
because I want to help, and I'm used to helping, and not necessarily for business purposes or not to gain a client, but then now understanding that I am also a business, so it can't just be, sunshine and roses and paychecks of the heart. Sometimes we need paychecks of the pocket. Right. So balancing that out and realizing that if you don't put a value on what you do, other people will not put a value on it also.
Well, you have to pay your bills too.
Right. Yes, exactly.
I got it.
So that's my largest challenge right now. The rest of it, I feel like everything is coming together, and I remind myself that nothing happens fast, and if it does, it usually does not last.
Right.
So to be patient and to understand that to build substantial things, you have to be patient with yourself and give yourself time to learn and grow and just stay the course.
I think as entrepreneurs, we feel like, oh, we know what we know, and we feel like it can just start right away. But then as we keep going and we grow and we learn more, we're like, oh, okay. God isn't going to have us appear. Hey, Dorothy. Hey, Viv. You've got 2 more people. God's not going to put us up here until we learn all of these things in the middle. So I find that too, I have to remind myself, it doesn't happen overnight. And everybody that's out there that says, oh, overnight success, they had 15 years before that we didn't see,
Right.
working. So I get that too.
Yeah, and it's the microwave crock pot. We're in a microwave society. Everybody wants things 30 seconds or less, whereas we know, honestly, grandma's crock pot still works just as fine. And your product may be a lot better because of the time and the consistent energy that is put into that versus that zapping.
That's a good analogy, because it's probably going to taste a little better if it's savored and all of that in the crock pot versus just heating it up really fast in the microwave. That's like, I'm gonna have to use that. That's a good one. How do you balance, when we talked about this for a little bit, when you said you still have a 9 to 5, how do you balance life and your business, like your personal life or work and your business entrepreneur?
It's setting those boundaries and saying okay, 5:30, I'm turning off their laptop and turning mine on. Or, okay, if I have an event in the evening, which I usually would work on my business, but I have a work event, it's okay. So balancing out that time and making sure to have that schedule down and communicating that to the people that you're working with so that it's not an expectation that you're going to be available for one thing and then you're not because of things coming up. And I also travel with my 9 to 5 too. So it really is balancing all of that, but making sure that you can still fit in time for the things that are a priority for you. So, like I said, I do my videos on Mondays. I was scrolling back through them and downloading them to make sure in case Facebook ever decided they didn't want me to have my stuff anymore, to make sure I have my own copies. But I'm looking at some of the backgrounds. I was like, oh, I was not at home there. I was not at home there. I was not at home there. But I made it a priority to make sure that I was still consistent with my business because it matters to me. So prioritization and consistency is definitely necessary in order to be successful and to make sure that you are making your business just as important as you would hope your clients are taking it, because you don't want people to treat it as a hobby.
Right.
When you take it seriously and that's your energy, your time, your intellect that you're putting into that. And really, it's like especially for you're working on wellness, you want somebody to see results. You don't want someone just to go through the motions and then, for no results, or their results aren't what they should be. That's a waste of your time and energy where you could be helping somebody who's really going to put their all into it. So balancing that out and making sure that I'm showing my commitment and that it'll be mirrored, hopefully, by your clients.
Perfect. Do you have any mentors or people you have mentored, and tell us a little bit about that?
Yes and yes. Yeah, I do. I have quite a few mentors, peer and otherwise, and people who are higher up in business or further along their entrepreneurial path or further along business-wise. So I do make sure and reach out, make sure to maintain that contact. It's not always about give me advice, give me. Sometimes it's just experience and sharing that with them what's happening, having them do the same for me. The resource, the dot connecting. I think a mentorship relationship is always great when you can bring something to it instead of always being the recipient. So if I meet someone out or I connect LinkedIn or at a networking event and it was like, oh, my mentor, I feel like that would be great for you guys to connect, and being able to do that is very helpful. I do mentor people for my job and outside. I enjoy doing that. It's always, like I said, I love hearing and seeing the light bulb moments for people, especially when they understand how much power they actually have over their own future and their own careers and just even their own development. So doing that is that's one of the things that brings me the most satisfaction personally and professionally. So I do continue to do that and make sure that I make time in my schedule, because sometimes my calendar is real silly. So I always try to make sure that there is time built in for me to connect with people and to answer those questions. And can say that I am very blessed that my mentors do the same for me.
Perfect. Perfect. It's always good to have those people in our lives.
Mhm.
What tips do you have for other women business owners?
Don't be afraid. Dot, dot, dot. Don't be afraid. Be that of starting, of not knowing what you're doing. Majority of people, there are a lot of people out here who have no idea what they're doing, but they're making a lot of money not knowing anything. Um, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to seek out resources and other people who are doing the same thing that you are. There's this whole, don't invent competition where there isn't any. What you bring to the marketplace is very unique and specific to you. I'm not naive in thinking that I have no competition, but I also know that there are no other Maiyas on the market right now who bring what I bring, and also have the mindset of what's for me is for me. The people that I am supposed to attract, I will attract. The people who I am supposed to encounter, I will encounter. There are no accidents. Every moment, every conversation, every, email, text message, there is a grander purpose behind it than even I, you, or anyone else can understand. And so if you feel as though you are directed to do something and it's something that you can't get rid of and it keeps coming back, you're supposed to do it and just start going. And then the direction will come as you keep moving.
That's good. You have to feel or be in tune with yourself when God, or if somebody else's, energy, they feel like that's what it is. You have to be in tune with that so that you can hear that small voice and know when to move and what to do. So that's keeping. What are the pros and cons to being a female entrepreneur in 2019?
The cons, well, I'll start with the con, is that it's still, there is a difference between a male and a female entrepreneur. That you are going to have to work harder, that you are going to have to prove yourself in order to gain the same value or to justify your value in the marketplace than a man would. That you have to be pretty, whatever that looks like. The fact that, I'm just like, I was actually running around and I was like, I need to get home before 2:00. I don't have time to do my makeup. I don't have time to, but it was, I don't have time to do my makeup. Let me at least go brush my hair. Because if I'm getting on camera, I have to look a certain way, because if I don't present in a certain way that's at least palatable as a woman, my message could be completely disregarded.
Sometimes that's true. Yeah.
Pros are that, women are creating their own lanes. There are so many resources and advantages that we can take advantage of, be it funding, be it co-working spaces, sisterhood circles. We don't need the boys club. We got the women's clubs that we have, be they online or in person. I've found that there's a lot of camaraderie, at least online, with other women trying to build communities with one another to say, hey, no, you can do this. And that's a great thing to have, because I can't imagine maybe 10 years ago how hard it would have been when, the internet wasn't as it is, wasn't as we know it now, and how hard it may have been for people who were feeling unsupported or didn't know where to turn and almost finding, secret society type pockets. Whereas now there are so many different avenues to go, and if one group doesn't work for you, there are at least 300,000 more that you can go and explore and find somebody who can be that person you can bounce things off of, or, is going through the same thing or has gone through the same thing. I think for women also is the option for those who do not want to work from home. They don't have to. The ones who do choose to stay at home, that you don't have to not work if you don't want to. as a stay-at-home mom, that you can balance it all out, that you can do it all at the same time, that you can create the life that you like to create for yourself and your family, or if it's just you, create the life that you want for you on your own terms because of all the resources that are available in 2019. And, it's only going to get better.
Yes. Well, and that's what I wanted women to take away from this series is the camaraderie and the using the tools of sisterhood together, like we talked about earlier, not thinking of competition, but thinking of what you can bring to the table and give that information and take from someone else too. Not just always thinking that I can't share or I can't have them on because they have competition for me. I mean, that's just not what. And as a wellness coach and well-being, if you struggle with those on the inside, you're always constantly comparing yourself to other people. And I just don't want women to feel that way. So, well, that's the end of the questions. I do thank you, but I also want you to share with everybody one more time what it is that you can do for them, where they can find you on all the platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or what's the best way to find you too?
The best way I will say right now is on Facebook so my business page is under Maiya Winston, Maiya Winston. Website is also MaiyaWinston.com, MaiyaWinston.com, or beapossibility.com, BeaPossibility.com. On Facebook, if you're putting in the link, www.facebook.com/BAP with Maiya. That's the business page link. I'm also on Instagram under Be a Possibility Coaching and Consulting. I think it's under Coaching and Consulting, but it's under Be a Possibility.
Under Be a Possibility. I found you that way on Instagram. Yeah. I was following you, but I was like, I know she's on Instagram, and I found it that way. Speaking of that, share the hashtag and why that hashtag resonated with you and why you use that. I love that hashtag, but I want them to.
Okay, cool. So the Be a Possibility. So this is usually what it is. So Be a Possibility, join the movement. My favorite coffee mix. Anyway, so what that is about.
Can they get those mugs from you? The coffee mugs?
They can. I am revamping my store, but if you want one, you can send me a message and I will send you the link to get one. Okay. But thank you, Angie. I'm gonna have to send you one. So the reason behind the hashtag is really, it goes back into what I was saying about mentoring and just how that's really a passion of mine, is to help people see basically what they are capable of doing, what they are capable of achieving in their own lives. And when they do that, they are showing somebody else what they are capable of doing as well. So when you achieve your dreams, you become a possibility for somebody else. So if I can help you push up and be a possibility, then you become that for somebody else. And it's just a positive chain reaction. And so my hashtags when I do it's hashtag Be a Possibility, hashtag join the movement, meaning get in there, get started, do what you have to do. Don't be afraid. And everybody has to start somewhere. So join the movement, get started now. The sooner you start moving, you start getting that momentum going, you're going up.
Yes.
So it's dual meaning that way. Join the movement and move your own cakes, but also get in there with the group so that we can all support one another as we work towards whatever our goals may be.
So y'all use that hashtag, Be a Possibility.
Yes.
So definitely. They can find you on Instagram, they can find you on Facebook, yes. And your website.
They can. MaiyaWinston.com, MaiyaWinston.com, or beapossibility.com, BeaPossibility.com. They can do that. I am on LinkedIn, but it is just under my name, Maiya Winston. It may or may not be searchable right now.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, if I go search for you, am I gonna find you? Well, thank you again for taking
That's the other thing.
Meet with me. I appreciate it. I'm so glad.
Thank you. This is so much fun. Thank you so much for asking me. I'm really, really honored.
Yes.
And we have to hang out. It's like really ridiculous that we haven't yet, since
I
we are
can't. I can't
literally
even.
like,
We're like in the same town, and we
I
not.
know.
I'm actually. Are you over by the Toyota Music Factory?
I work over by
You do.
there.
Okay, because that's where we're headed from the lake house all the way. So I probably pass you. Head that. But I can't. We're in the same town. I know, but we're so busy that it
I
just
know.
scheduling. I mean, it's a thing.
It very much
Like
so.
it's a struggle. Well, again,
I'm
thank
gonna catch
you.
one of your Dallas Fridays though, because I know you do
Yes,
your
I do.
vision boards, correct?
What I should do is schedule myself to get into town and meet you like for coffee at lunch or something over by where you are. Because if you work over there, I hit you on my way to Flower Mound. So I'm on
I
my.
actually live closer to Flower Mound, so I'm gonna come find you on Fridays. One of these Fridays, I'm just gonna pop up on you.
I'll have my grandson, and well, I do have, and I won't share it here. I'll message you, but yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you again. If you're following,
Thank
if you're
you.
watching this on the replay, you guys reach out to her and check her out on Monday nights. She does Monday nights with
I
Maya.
do.
I've
I do.
caught it several times. And then if they want
Thank
the
you.
mug, share the Be a Possibility hashtag. You guys get on that, share. I hope this is helpful for you. And I will see you later.
Thank you so much, Angie.
Yes.
You are amazing.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Have fun at the concert too.
Thank you. Be well.
You
Bye-bye.
too.